11 months ago, we'd never even heard of COVID-19. But earlier this week, the news broke that we've got a vaccine that, so far at least, is promising to be more effective than anyone could have dreamed. The wonder of science. It was created by the husband and wife team, Or Shaheen and Oislin Turjici, who run BioNTech. I spoke to Mr. Shaheen yesterday, and I began by asking him when we will know that the vaccine is safe to use.
What we are seeing so far indicates that the vaccine has the typical vaccine-associated side effect profile. That means the people who receive the vaccine have pain in the injection site for a few days, which is mild to moderate, and a proportion of the participants who receive the vaccine has fever. Also for 1 to 2 days, and the fever is also mild to moderate. These are the key side effects that we have seen, and we did not see any other serious side effects which would result in pausing or halting of the study.
Will your vaccine be able to be used in combination with, for instance, the AstraZeneca vaccine and others?
So at the beginning, it does not make sense to combine vaccines. And so every vaccine has been clinically evaluated as a prime boost. So that means most vaccines are based on a first injection, and after 3 weeks or after four weeks, a second injection. And I wouldn't mix that, because this has not been evaluated for safety.
Do we know how long the immunity lasts after the second dose?
We don't know. So we need to collect this data. We can, at the moment, only extrapolate some of the existing data. With this extrapolation, one can expect that the antibody response and the T-cell response, so it is well known that T-cell responses are very long-lived. So the antibody response might decline over time, and we expect it will decline over time. But what is not known, how fast it will decline, and whether after 1 year, for example, sufficient antibody titers are still there. We are collecting this information, and we will see it. And if the antibody response, for example, after 1 year appeared to be too low, we can do a booster immunization, which should not be too complicated.
So we're all accustomed to getting annual flu jabs. Is it going to be more or less the same kind of thing, annual COVID-19 jabs in the years ahead?
Yeah, so the flu is a little bit different, because with flu we are really dealing every year with a different strain or different strains. Yeah. So with the COVID-19, of course, has some mutations, but so far the mutations are very distinct, and I don't expect that the virus will have a dramatic shift, which is observed, for example, for influenza.
So here's the really big question that I don't understand at all. Does the vaccine simply stop symptoms in people with COVID-19, or does it stop the virus being spread?
We did not formally answer these questions. We can indirectly answer this question in a few months. But as a scientist, and from extrapolation, what we have seen so far for other viruses, I would expect that a high efficacy in preventing disease and that transmission between people will be reduced by such a highly effective vaccine.
Will we be back to normal, and if so, when?
This winter will be hard. Yeah, so we will not have a big impact on the infection numbers with our vaccine in this winter. If everything continues to go well, we will start to deliver the vaccine end of this year, beginning next year. Our goal is to deliver more than 300 million of vaccine doses until April next year, which could allow us to already start to make an impact. The bigger impact will happen until summer. Yeah, the summer will help us anyway, because the infection rate will go down in summer. And what is absolutely essential is that we get a high high vaccination rate until or before autumn, winter next year. So that means all the immunization, vaccination approaches must be accomplished before next autumn. Yeah, and I'm confident that this will happen because there are a number of vaccine companies helping us to increase the supply and so that we could have a normal winter next year.
And how did you celebrate?
We did not have a lot of opportunity to celebrate. I discussed that with my wife, Özlem Türeci, how fantastic this result is. It is an extraordinary result. We sit together and had a tea together and just recapitulated the last months until we got this data, and it is relieving, and of course it provides joy.
Well, of course, everyone in Britain will be delighted that you had a cup of tea to celebrate.
This is not only British, this is also Turkish.